I don't have the constitution to deal with breasts.
What do you get when a bunch of artists find old books and get drunk on their fantasies for adventure and boxed wine?
The Killustrators.
A Dungeons and Dragons adventure. Last time on the Killustrators.
This thing is pretty much on its last legs at this point, and it smacks you once and then comes back with the other one and smacks you again.
I'm almost dead.
This thing needs to die right now.
It does.
Your skeleton pops out of the ground, uppercuts it, and as it does, it falls into a heap.
So I'm assuming that I've seen this thing before.
You haven't seen this specific thing before, but it's certainly bringing back awful memories.
The minute the battle is over, Art loses all composure.
What happened?
The last time I was here, my brothers and I of the Holy Order were brought along to deal with the threat. I was the only one who made it out.
Maybe we should bring this thing's head back to the smart people at the village.
I can bring the whole thing.
You hear some awkward cries, not unlike the ones coming from the thing you just fought. And when you turn to look in the direction of the noise, you see a thing similar to this thing as it limps by.
We have to go make sure it's dead.
Yeah.
And as you follow it, you quickly find a hole torn in the ground. Gouges in the stones suggest very clearly that this was where the monsters had crawled from. This is unmistakably where all this shit went down with Art before.
When everybody's cleared, Scarlet and I are going to probably back up to where the staircase is, and with a combination of our magic...
And just break the structure and let it cave in.
So
we clear out and the shit
Yeah.
is caved in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go back with this piece
Come
of
in.
shit.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast transport through plants. Oh no.
You guys are going to eject upward from the plant,
Yeah.
hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
So this happens, and suddenly all the commotion in this room stops, and everyone turns to look at you. Garrett goes, "What the fuck?"
I thought that was Withersby for a second.
Yeah.
No.
No,
it would be more like, what the fuck?
we figured this.
Oh, good golly gosh.
We figured this was safer
Sorry about the plants.
Safer than what?
than going out in the middle of town square with this thing.
You know, sure, fair. Yeah, okay.
We come
It
bearing
just, you
gifts.
get, like, none of you could have warned anybody?
Oh yeah, we could have called him.
Nah. They're fine.
You have message!
Message is a short range spell. I still know how it works too good.
Brix
has a talisman!
Yeah, Brix takes the crystal.
Talisman.
And she's like, well, by the way, we're coming with a monster.
We did warn, see?
Bricks.
Nobody warned anybody!
You should just did. I'll buy you another plant.
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now!
Well, now you
It's
know.
already happened!
You...
Everything's already gone to shit!
Time is relative.
Somebody comes up behind
You know.
Garrett, is like, it's actually fine. Everything's... They're right, they avoided panic, nobody saw the monster. This thing is clearly dead.
Thank you.
Just shut up! It's the principle of the matter!
Garrett,
It's clearly
calm down.
It's clearly dead.
I just want something to... something to work!
I'm gonna diplomacy Garrett into just calm down. Just calm the fuck
He's very
down.
flustered.
It's a 20. I have a very good bonus.
Oh my god!
Whoa!
I don't need.
You have a 17!
Yes, I have a 17 bonus. I don't do this often,
Alright,
but I'm very
You know
good
what?
at it.
You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, it's just... There's just been a lot going on, alright?
Oh, trust me.
On the bright side, this thing is dead.
It's just been a lot. It is dead.
And we
It's
did
dead.
the
He, kicks it in the face. It's dead!
the downside is we did kill another one like it, and we have reason to believe that that's what's to the south as well.
Really?
They're really
Great.
can't stress this enough. real strong.
Very, very strong.
We
Kill
also think
everything around them.
we found where they were coming from,
Okay.
and then we destroyed that. But we're not sure if that's where they're actually coming from, or who made them, or what their purpose is, or really anything. We're hoping you know things.
What did you find to suggest that anybody was making them?
There were some symbols. They were definitely not necromancy, but I would say they were really, really old.
There was a boy factory under the sea.
Yes.
Get
she
this
said.
cat out of here!
No.
No, she said it right. There was, in fact, a boy factory under the sea.
Under the sea?
Under the sea.
Under the sea.
Under the sea.
Downward.
So, Garrett.
I hear it's better.
It's better. Downward sweater under the sea.
No, take it from me.
Take it from whatever.
Some bad
Take it
things
from
were happening
Garrett.
there.
He doesn't give a fuck.
So
The fact is that she's right.
We
It was
solved
bad.
the crops problem.
maybe, how many of the search parties have come back?
The search party sent out to the east and the south. They've come back. The south just reported similar things. They said after the pulse crops started dying like crazy, a couple cattle died, but after that, some of them just started acting weird. But the crops stopped dying. But to the east, some of them came back wounded. They had claw marks.
Yeah, like a lot like this.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that was these things.
Okay, so they wandered out east and came back up north. They must have been following something, but why didn't they go south?
You're the research center.
We're trying to figure that out. Do you have anything that could answer this?
I mean, I'll tell them about the necromancy hideout and
Yeah.
where we thought they came from, but I don't know if that's
Okay, and the fact that they came
Similar-looking
out
things.
yeah, the similar looking bodies, and that one of them crawled back there when it was wounded.
Okay, so it sounds like these things have some innate attraction to magic things, similar to your little blue friend there.
Oh, yeah.
But if there was some sort of a necromancer hideout up north, I guess that would explain why they were staying around that area, and why there wasn't any wounded down south. Because there's not really much in that area unless you go a whole lot farther down south, according to you guys. So, as far as what could be creating these things, I don't really know. I haven't personally heard of anything to do with a necromancer hideout nearby.
You wouldn't know.
Why?
Art's kind of exasperated. I can't believe
Yeah, of course!
no one would tell anyone. Ugh.
It's been
Well,
sealed.
nobody
until
died.
now.
Everyone died, I know. But would there not be people who knew that they were going out there? Come on.
I guess not.
I mean, no.
He was using the
No.
buddy system.
No,
There was
it
like
just me.
there was like the
I-
wizard order
I
that
knew.
contacted you guys,
Yeah.
and then Scarlet who gave their location,
But-
and then everybody who actually entered the hideout died except for you and Scarlet.
Like,
fair.
I do, but I assumed you guys were gonna win, so.
Technically,
Sorry.
you did.
Because, I mean, it seems like the order was pretty much gutted, minus a few survivors.
I
Yeah,
guess. There were definitely still people who knew how to get in, but
You know.
yeah.
nothing like...
There was at least one person who knew how to get in, like
Yeah.
at least,
Yeah, because these things really bust out.
or at least
there.
one person who
Recently.
figured it out,
Yeah.
right?
They didn't necessarily have to know beforehand.
Yeah.
maybe they figured it
somebody figured out how to get into this place and used their resources to do something. It's worth noting that all the bodies that were piled up in the corner that the hollow was hiding underneath, as opposed to all the rest of the ones that were scattered around, they didn't look like they fell and died where they lay.
No,
The
they
pile
yeah.
of bodies were clearly thrown into that pile as if they were
Yeah.
dismissed for something.
Yeah.
So they didn't work, maybe.
Yeah, something
It's
about
discarded.
them didn't work. They were discarded.
Okay.
And then clearly they gave up before they used the rest of the bodies, or even you don't know if those bodies that were in that pile were originally from that battle or yeah. But the bodies in that pile were definitely used for something.
Has Withersby come across us yet?
No, he hasn't yet. Yeah, I mean,
gonna
you
love
haven't seen him.
this.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I feel like he'll love the little
Yeah.
metally things. Brix did page him
Yeah, that's
after we
true.
showed up
Right.
Hey,
to say that we were in the main hall with a thing.
That's true. So very quickly afterwards, he does come around the corner and be like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Oh, marvelous!" And he goes and like starts poking at the body really excitedly.
Marvelous. Only you would say this is marvelous.
Fine.
oh, very interesting, very fascinating indeed. And this is what you found. And where was this? Where did you find this?
To the woods in the north.
Oh,
Surrounded
to the north. Okay.
to the woods in the north, surrounded by corpses.
Corpses. Okay. All right.
Your party not
Yeah.
coming back anytime soon
And why is that?
because they're dead.
Oh, they're
Because they were
they're
the corpses.
definitely
Okay. There. Okay. Dead.
fabulous.
Dead.
I'll tell the
All right.
fabulous.
All right.
Ah, yes, I'll get.
Oh, dead, you say? All right, that's quite unfortunate. But I will make a note of it. And can you make any comment as to how they died? Do you know anything
Look
about
at this thing.
This thing killed them. Killed all of them.
Marvelous, giant claws, very big. All right.
Or it could have also been the tree blights.
Oh yeah, there were some of those.
Blights. All right. And any comment as to where those might have come from?
This guy.
This guy.
Yeah.
Presumably.
This
maybe?
thing. All right. Okay. So this thing did something to the area. He tainted the land in some way. They perhaps cast some sort of a spell or some sort of a ritual and did something. And
I think
has...
he just exudes this aura.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay.
Everything
All
just
right.
rots
So
around
perhaps we should
Yeah,
deal with
don't-
this very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
don't
So as to
leave it
prevent.
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Very good.
Just quarantine this room.
Also, full disclosure, really difficult to kill.
How difficult? How difficult would you say?
From 1 to 10.
I almost
From
died.
1 to 10. Okay.
You
You almost died. How many of you were fight? What are your skills exactly? And if you had to guess, of former search parties and other people who may have encountered it, how did they fare versus you?
So can the other parties summon 3 skeletal owl bears
And crocodiles.
and crocodiles?
and do they have rope?
Do they have honey?
Do they have a giant dire?
They certainly do not have the badger. I can't speak to their skeleton summoning abilities, but I'm going to assume not. As for the crocodiles, perhaps
We could get crocodiles?
we could get crocodiles. That is certainly possible. As for their summoning abilities, I can't really say yes or no, but if it was any of the town guard, then probably not. I'm just going to write that down and note real quick.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if we came back and there was just a crocodile problem.
An infestation.
We have a crocodile
They're
problem. What
breeding
the
like
fuck did you do?
You told us to get crocodiles, so we got crocodiles.
We got so many crocodiles now. We're overrun. We're getting eaten by crocodiles on the daily.
Crocodile.
What have you done?
Called the daily.
Oh, we did cats to fix the rat problem, they said.
We set up badgers for the rats, and then we set crocodiles for the badgers.
And now we're all fucked up. We don't know what to do. What eats crocodiles?
Who would have known that crocodiles eat crops?
They are the perfect predator. Nothing eats a crocodile.
No.
We all have to move.
This is so
country
many
now.
crocodiles!
Well,
All right. So, how long would you estimate it took you to kill this monster? And how many of you would you say that
All
were...
of us, and far too long.
hours.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Scarlet.
You're welcome.
All right, very good.
He flips his notebook closed and he tucks his quill behind his ear.
I will take this into consideration. I will go and do all the investigating I can, see if I can't pinpoint exactly what this is, where it came from, and who created it.
Thank you.
Yes. Good luck.
Very good. I hope you all have a marvelous day.
And he bounces and...
Oh, and if you wouldn't mind sending a message to Giora and tell him that we fixed the problem and we're awaiting payment.
There could be more.
He promised you payment, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, I will remind him of that.
Mm-hmm.
You wire it to us.
Tell him to check his shoes while he's at it.
Wait. Are we sure that they said there's some to the east
there's
and to
more.
the south? We didn't fix the problem.
No.
yet.
No, but we know what the problem is.
Yeah.
And we did bring a body back.
Job done. Let's get at it.
We are in no position to go after the second one right now.
No.
I mean, all the search parties to the east, everything to the west is pretty much a lake. So there wasn't anything sent out west. Everything to the south has been reported as more or less normal. All the crop deaths have pretty much stopped at this point, and they're pretty hopeful that they can just get shit back on track. Some of their cattle started acting erratically immediately after the pulse for like a couple days, but have since calmed down. Okay. To the east, there have been a couple of people who have been wounded, but that's just been in the northeast.
Mm-hmm.
And then the north, as you know, is all that shit that went down.
Yeah, so we fixed it.
So you can probably assume that all the things that were happening in the north were also the things that were happening in the east, but to a lesser degree because they were just coming into that area and going back.
Okay. So yeah, we did fix it.
The only thing that you don't know is why they were going back and forth.
Yes.
Because as Garrett and Withersby had kind of alluded to, they were innately drawn to some sort of a magical force. So the reason that the wounded one was drawn back to the hideout was because of all the necromancer magic and all that. But why they managed to get out east and then head back north...
Which way is the temple from us?
South.
Okay.
So all the things that ended up, like all the crop deaths and everything, that was immediately following the big pulse, which you can assume is when you touch the orb. And the following couple of days, the crop deaths spread a little bit, but then stopped. And after the first day, a couple of cattle died in the south. And then after that, they started acting erratically. But as time went on, they started to calm down again. So search party sent to the south reported not a whole lot. They just reported pretty much everything that you'd already heard.
Yeah.
Just like some cattle death, some crop death, but everything was kind of like coming to a slow. It was as if the initial pulse sent out a big hill wave, and after its initial effect, it died down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing came of the pulse that accompanied your arrival. The only thing that happened was people felt it, and they got upset and scared reasonably, and that's what caused everybody to gather in the town square and start to argue with one another. And you can probably assume that the people who went out with their makeshift armor and weapons and things haven't come back yet, but you can also probably assume that they're not in a whole lot of danger because you took care of the big monster.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we still have no idea how the orb thing relates to any of this and what happened to us.
No. If Brix sees the orb, though, she can say that it's the same thing that was scribbled on the chalkboard and shit.
Oh, the thing in the puzzle box? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but she
Scarlet
hasn't
took
seen
it.
I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know it was
Without our consent.
Yeah, absolutely.
because I saw it on the chalkboard.
Correct.
Alright, yeah, but, so, these three know that that was the same thing that was, scribbled on the chalkboard.
Yeah. Don't like that. Don't love that we have it.
So, you know, in some regard, it's related to these weird metal tendrils
Okay.
that have sprouted from certain things. And they look similar to the ones on Honey, similar to the ones on the Hollow, and similar to the ones on the wall in the lab, in the ruins, and in the mine in Tremoria. And on the beast that you fought in Tremoria. Which, by the way, we are calling the Tainted Beast.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is very friendly.
Yeah.
Oh
he's a
man, I
friendly
hate
boy.
the Tate Beast.
The Tainted
And
Beast.
Knack's arm.
Tate Beast.
And Knack's arm, actually. Yeah, it's the same material, but it doesn't... Knack's arm looks the same as it did. It's just made out of that silver material. It doesn't look like it's made out of twisted silver. It just,
Yeah.
like, changed on a molecular level.
Honey, on the other hand, seems to have been, at least to a very mild degree, infected with the same thing that created the hollow, which is what made him grow and sprout the spikes. So he's not a proper dyer. He's a dire badger for all intents and purposes, but he's not a proper one. He's a regular badger that grew and sprouted spikes.
Okay.
At least he's a good boy.
He's a tainted badger.
Yeah. Well, he's a good boy because he was calmed by your god. So you guys all return. You deliver all the information you have to Garrett and Withersby. You get all your points and experience and all that, and Scarlet delivers the message that she has to leave to go up north for a while. You guys are all hanging out in the roadhouse. You guys are all in that same tavern that Art knows, because that's the first time Art ever saw Scarlet.
Yeah. I know he's in here.
And Scarlet knows because she's been there like 15 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still doesn't love it here, but
It's not the best place in the world. It's not the cheapest drink. It's not the most expensive drink. It's fine.
not like that fucking last place. Jesus.
But considering you guys just saved the whole town, y'all are getting shit for free.
Free drinks.
Nice.
Woo! Okay, so
And we've got the
shit
head of the
for
monster.
No, we do not.
I love the fact that you said shit for free, and I glanced over at Rosemary, and she's just got this, like...
Brix has ordered one of everything.
Yes.
And a gold gilded bowl.
The bartender named Dreg.
This is Dreg? Because there was already a Dreg.
No. There was a Dreg with a J. This is D-R-E-G.
I see.
Dreg. Yeah.
Wait, are they all both bartenders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the bartenders are named something that rhymes with Greg.
Yeah.
So this is Dreg.
Cool.
Okay.
He says, I mean, I know we're supposed to be giving you stuff for free tonight, and I really appreciate what you guys have done, but one of everything? That's quite a lot. Are you sure?
I'm a growing boy.
All right. He starts bringing you 2 of everything on the menu, like at a time.
Wait,
Like,
what? Why 2 of everything? We said 1 of everything.
Well, no, he brings you like one of everything, but 2 at a time. Sorry.
Oh, 2 at a time.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 2 at a time, one of everything on the menu, and he's trying to space it out so you have a little bit of time. And they're not the biggest portions, so you can actually eat them.
Oh, it's like a tapas place.
Yeah.
But with pub food, I assume.
So presumably, Drake went back to the back room. He's like, "One of everything, just make it a small portion."
Yeah, that's fine. I
Yeah.
accept.
The chef that night is like, God damn it!
Son of a bitch!
Why me?
Small
wish-
portion. We got a fucking filet mignon. Are you kidding me? How am I supposed to make a small portion of that?
Oh,
You make a filet mignon.
Oh my god.
Get out, dude!
A filet minion, perhaps?
Oh, God.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's yellow and it comes with like...
I know.
What? Well, oh, what? So I'm not allowed.
This one over here says the dumbest shit all the time.
You have to be more aggressive with it.
You have to not care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rosemary's got a fuck you attitude when it comes to the puns.
Yeah.
You have to treat
Like,
him.
look at this face. He's putting so much effort into it. You can't just not. You can't just ignore it.
Yeah, you can watch me.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so
All right.
we're sitting in the bar / pub / whatever the fuck,
Drinking so many rounds of ale.
drinking and eating.
So probably while they're drinking and eating and drinking
She
some more,
says,
there's a white crow that just like flies around for a bit. It lands on her shoulder and it has a tiny bit of parchment on its leg. Just she reads it for a bit. Thank you, Mercy. You're a beautiful sing-song voice. Thank you. Go. Fly. Good. And she reads it for a second and then pulls her hand into the cape and pulls out the gem, the little glowing orb that it's technically yours, but
Yeah.
I have it. So She's just looking
Wow.
at it.
Yeah. Oswalt, when she pulls out the gem, Oswald's got a mug of ale up to his face, and he just notices it and just points at it and goes wide-eyed. Oh, I forgot you had... I would like that back if that's okay.
I know. So easily I could have stolen it for you.
I mean...
You forgot.
No, I didn't forget. I just trusted you. And he, like, starts leaning back and squinting his eyes. Should I maybe not have done that?
A terrible
Yeah, it's a
decision,
funny
really.
thing, trust.
And I'm just like shoveling food in my mouth.
Okay, well. Thank you for
Many
trusting
lightly
me.
fried fish fillets.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Knack's not entirely familiar with pub food.
He's
Restaurant
picking at
food.
some like lettuce and a salad.
He doesn't-
He's like shaking every piece that has too much dressing on it
Yeah.
before he.
He pulls it in the water.
Aw.
The water,
Like
the
a
water is looking
raccoon.
this gross
He's got
color.
a glass of water that's oily.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's just, it's got like a film of like ranch dressings. Like,
Ugh. Ugh.
Alrighty.
Yeah, thank you for trusting me. A horrible decision, really. I have to say something. I have to go.
Uh-huh.
There is some really, really bad unrest up at north. And I am required elsewhere. So,
Well, thank you.
this is weird and I never do this.
What?
But I will be going
Okay.
Okay.
now.
So three things, really. First of all, thank you so much for helping us kill that whatever the fuck that was. It hit real hard.
Good time.
So yeah, thanks for that. Two, if I could have that gem back, I would appreciate it. And three, you said you recognized me, and then you never elaborated, and you said you'll let me know when I'm ready, and I'm 3 beers in, so I'm feeling pretty ready for a lot of things right now. So,
Can't argue with that.
Drinking
logic.
like you're
Yeah.
drinking too much. You guys, this is costing us so much.
Scarlet actually laughs at that.
at this point,
Whoa.
she's like putting food in her mouth and just like, bleh, like just.
Well,
just to taste it.
Fine.
Scarlet actually laughs at that and she gets up. And walks over to you. So she's at your side and then she puts the little gem thing in front of you and says, "You just remind me of your father."
Oh, is he had that? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. And he pockets the thing, and he's like, "You know my dad? I barely know my dad."
Good. Slowly she just turns around
Oh
and like,
no.
"Good luck."
Knack,
And waves.
Knack stands up and
Yeah.
rushes over to Scarlet and gives her a hug.
Oh.
She freezes.
What are you doing?
Thank you.
That's
She
the
pats
only
her
one in the
head, she pats
party.
his hands a little.
Yeah.
You know, you're a very good druid. Let go of me, please.
Knack puts his hands on his cheeks and backs up.
Yay!
Yeah.
She just walks away into the night.
It
Okay.
disappears. There is a sort of political powwow going on up north around the Debaran border. There are a lot of tensions rising between Castell and Debera because a lot of odd goings-on are occurring in Debera, and Debera is blaming Castell. So, a lot of the high-ranking guild members, such as Duncan and Saul, and the fucking cat folk that you fucked up.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's
they're all up north, and they're having this big, they're having a lot of talks with the Debaran government because they are starting to feel as if Castell is trying to fuck them over in some way, and Castell is trying to avoid an all-out war.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good times, yeah.
So, Scarlet is currently heading up north to try and aid in these political discussions because Scarlet has become sort of a political figure in all of her time in Castell. So, she's going up north to try and aid these discussions, and she kind of suggests that you guys can meet up with her there if you guys end up heading up in that direction.
It's very far away.
It's very, very. You guys are very south.
He is very far away.
But I can't really say, no, this is my actual job.
Yeah,
It's
this is Scarlet's
royalty
actual
advisor,
career. Scarlet's actual job is to act as like...
She's an ambassador.
Yeah, she's an ambassador. She acts as one of the advisors to the actual king of Castel.
Oh.
And for the record, there is a king and a prime minister of Castel.
Okay. Makes sense.
Oswalt's got like a very furrowed brow and is just kind of looking around. That was my dad?
Art's also looking at Oswalt, looking at where Scarlet left.
Food for thought. This came up when you guys were in the hideout.
Yeah. Food for thought. Art sip.
Art's like...
yeah, Art's like...
You hear dishes
like
clanging and notice that Honey is in where I was sitting, now eating food off the table.
Thinking back to this,
My fish!
Oswalt does
smacking
remember
Honey.
in that hideout that there was not 2 but 3 different types of, shall we say, uniforms.
Yeah,
in
no,
the hideout.
I'm thinking about that. So there was the paladins, the necromancers, and then somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows what his dad did for a living, roughly, as far as assuming his dad was honest.
Yep.
And so...
He knows vaguely what he did.
Yeah.
He knows that his dad went out as someone who knows magic and stopped bad people.
Yeah.
And collected some artifacts from that.
Yeah. So Oswald's kind of sitting there deep in thought, and he pulls out, and you guys haven't really... He's mentioned this, so it's not a secret, but you've never really seen it. He reaches deep into his coat, where he's got a hidden pocket, and he pulls out the necromancy book. That's the reason why he knows this shit.
Wait, how big is this book?
It's not huge.
Dimensions-wise, is it bigger than a phone? Is it...
It's like an...
Honestly thinking of the Necromonicon from Evil Dead is what I base the book in my mind off of.
Yeah, they
Pretty
could,
big
like,
book.
pretty easily, like, conform to, like, a body shape.
Not the Necromonicon.
Well,
A
a little
thinner
bit thicker than this. Not
He always has like a
insanely thick.
boob and then nothing.
Yeah, just
Let's assume that he designed one side of his jacket.
Yeah, like the back of the
to-
jacket's, it hangs off a little loose, so it's kind of
Fair
like
enough.
in there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fantasy. I'm stretching. I'm
Yeah.
stretching.
But also,
reality.
like,
It's
if
hammer
you
space,
assume
just go
that
with
one
it.
side was more padded than the other,
yeah,
and one side was designed to accommodate the book and the other wasn't,
yeah.
Fair enough.
it was just.
I'm not
designed
gonna.
to
I'm not
fill
gonna
out.
fight you on like secret pockets and clothes. I mean,
You're
he's
just
a
curious.
fucking tailor. Yeah.
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 No, I'm just saying we can assume that Oswalt designed it to be that way.
Yeah.
Art
Yeah.
kind of shivers when you take the book out of the table. He doesn't like it.
Yeah. So, was my dad was he,
My
did
dad.
he get this book from that hideout? He puts the book back in the super secret pocket and then puts the gem from the thing back in the secret pocket that's all sealed up and safe in there too. And he just kind of goes, "That's tomorrow Oswald's problem."
Yeah.
And
That's
You're
the
too many
spirit.
beers in to care.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he starts
You're
drinking.
right.
Yeah.
And he just goes, so that wasn't on purpose, but I'm gonna leave it in.
Dope.
And he like starts leaning over a little bit too much. He straightens up.
This is still mad at us.
I know
Aw.
about that. I'm sorry I touched the ball. I'm really sorry I touched the ball. I didn't.
Angry eating noises.
I thought it was going to be okay and it wasn't. I'm sorry for touching the ball. And then he points at Brix. Specifically, I was worried about you. Because you were all zombified and drawn to the light. And whatever the light was going to do to you, I wanted to do to me. Because I've already got tons of bad mojo in me. From old Faithful over here. And he pats where he put the book. So I thought maybe it might jack me up less. Because of the bone powers. But instead, a bunch of bad shit happened, and I'm pretty sure those guys in the forest are dead because of me.
You're welcome.
So sorry about that. And I'm pretty, and you, and I, so can't, and he's leaning back a little too far as he says this, can't tell you guys how to feel about it, but for the clawing, and I'm assuming you tried to punch me, and he pokes Knack.
Knack shakes his head no.
Knack just lies.
No hard feelings, because I deserved it, and I got something planned for you, and he points at Brix again. And he takes a big old sip of his beer.
This sounds really awful.
And he's just like, I'm gonna delight you if it's the... You're gonna like this. And he takes a big drink of beer. and then
She takes her little plate that she's eating off of and scoots down a little more. Like further away.
Oh, it's like away or toward.
No.
Great.
And he sees you do that. He goes, yeah, that's the spirit. And then, he just sits there quietly and is just like, I hate this.
Oh, Oswald, no.
Knack says,
We just care about you.
I appreciate it. And and he's really flustered. He's not used to this kind of stuff. He's not used to people giving a shit.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt
And he's
real
drunk,
quick
yeah.
and ask if Scarlet has already disappeared
I would
completely?
imagine as soon as
She's just like,
Yeah, she walked out.
Yeah. So yeah, but honestly, Oswalt is struggling with this because he's never had people give a shit enough about him to be mad at him. He doesn't know how to handle this, and he goes, so yeah, can't stress it enough. I touched the ball because I care about you guys, and I wanted the bad thing to happen to me because as reestablished, necromancers are usually pricks. So I don't think the world would care if one less was around, but. I'm still here. And I can make owlbears now, apparently. I like that. And he's again leaning over a little far into the table and he goes, puts his head on his hand. I'm probably gonna go to bed soon.
I'm gonna sleep right here. I'm gonna sleep right here and everything. Gotta take a nap right here.
And Art's gonna give him another little reassuring pat. Kind of say you didn't know what would happen when you touched that ball, and none of us did, but at least we were equipped to deal with it. If someone else had come across that, if it was some researcher, but no one had been around.
So here's the other thing that I thought about. Look, Saki boy over here likes to have a cheeky chug-a-lug on some magic. What if that dude found it?
It's true.
Yeah, he'd have done that.
It likely would have happened.
It's kind of got its trunk in the air and is like,
You gotta feed this thing.
Yeah, we do have to feed this thing.
Knack, I was just thinking, we haven't fed him. Knack takes the sock off and produces some good berries.
Just on the floor.
Fuck's sake.
Well, there it is.
You could go cast Entangle outside later and let him
Yeah.
let him graze for a while.
graze for a bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool that you can do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's cute. But Art's also going to say that it probably would have happened anyway. If it's your fault that those people are dead, it's just as much mine because apparently no one ever knew that we didn't finish what we started. That's been around forever.
Yeah. Well, hopefully whatever's going on, we can figure it out and fight the bad guy, and then, I don't know, hang out. So speaking of which,
Drunk bastard.
keeping in mind he's never been drunk before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Every
is-
other time we've been drinking, he's been like, no, that's ew, icky.
yeah. He's been stressed.
Poor guy.
Knack pats you on the shoulder.
Yeah, that hurts a little bit actually.
You had it with like two different arms. He's like, whoa.
Wow.
You have 4 arms.
He just notices.
I thought you were talking bush.
Whoa.
I thought you were the bush version of the cat. So, but he goes, speaking of stuff, and he points at Art. You did a really good job today. That was some heavy shit that you had to deal with, and you didn't run away. And the bad stuff that happened to those paladins wasn't because of you. It was because of that guy. And he points up and he goes, I don't like him very much. and hey, it might have taken 15 years, but you got it done. And that's all that matters. So
I like Drunk Oswalt.
I like Drunk Oswalt too.
So you don't need healing magic, and if he was good at what he did up there, you'd have it regardless.
What the fuck?
So I'm gonna go to
I
bed.
tried.
When you
I
say
didn't know.
when Oswald says I should go to bed next, just nodding.
So he goes, I'm gonna go to bed, but before I go to sleep, and he points at Brix again. Ooh, I'm gonna make you something nice.
This seems so fucking threatening.
Not a threat.
I know, but it just sounds so threatening. Doesn't it?
He's not very good at social things.
Yeah.
Brix takes a long sippy and squints.
A cheeky sippy.
Are the
A
in
cheeky little chug-a-lug.
Well, she doesn't drink.
Yeah,
Oh.
a chug like a milk.
Yeah, or whatever the
or
hell
what?
it is.
I never said I wanted to chug-a-lug. I never said that.
Are the in rooms on the second floor?
Yes.
Okay.
Is someone escorting Oswald
I
upstairs?
might escort him.
Knack,
So he doesn't come back down the stairs.
That's
You
in
don't
a very
drag
violent
Will.
manner.
Knack looks at Brix and says,
You know, cow's milk isn't good for cats.
What's a cat?
No, she knows she's a cat.
God, can you imagine though? What's a cat? Whoa, wait. Put a
Hold the
pin and
fucking-
fuck. How have we gotten this far with not knowing that this
What's the
bitch
name
doesn't know
of the
she's a
cat
cat?
folk dude that you fucked up, Luther?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, he's one of
was
the
he
dudes
another
that's up
cat
north.
like you, or was
No,
he
he's a cat folk.
He's a
He's a
cat
cat
folk.
folk.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
was just like,
Cat folk?
how the fuck are you
What
this
the hell are you?
Okay, I forgot about that.
What am I?
Yeah.
Oh
that
yeah,
was-
she
What are all
freaked him
of
out
us?
real bad.
Cat folk are gross. They look like the people.
He looks
from
like
Cats.
Mewtwo.
They look like the people from Cats, the fucking musical.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it.
Cross with Mewtwo.
Corrupted me
With the
too.
dick fingers and everything.
Alright.
Huh?
Dick
Gross.
fingers.
Hello.
Shut up.
Dick Fingers.
Shut up, dick fingers. Jesus.
My name is Richard Fingers, but you can call me Dick Fingers.
I hate this.
No!
Oswald, I will say Oswald's drunk, but he's a first-timer drunk, so it's not like he's pretending, but he's not actually as shit-faced as he's coming off. He's just feeling really... He's never felt this
Yeah.
way before, so he's like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he just doesn't know how to keep his shit together.
He can make it to his room just fine
Okay.
by himself.
Okay, good.
So
He just hasn't been drunk before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he saunters off to his room, and he's working on something.
He's gonna make a gun.
You know,
He's gonna
Brix, I made you a gun!
He's gonna stitch together a nice little flintlock pistol for you.
Oswald, no!
All is forgiven. Now
Now-
stay still. I want to try this thing out.
All is forgiven. Now give me your wallet.
Yeah, I'll just say after Oswalt tucks in for the night, Art's probably, once most of the food's gone, he doesn't really eat half of it anyway. So, he's just gonna head up to his room and likely, obviously start meditating, decompress a bit, probably make a call to New God.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing necessarily, specific, just
Just checking in.
I gotta just talk to someone about this.
Alright, yeah.
I feel like also Art probably you must have be feeling a relief that you've never felt like
Yeah.
you've felt in a long time.
Yeah, he still has these lingering feelings of guilt and that kind of thing, but it's not up until the point where he got his new powers. He just assumed that everything that happened that day was entirely his fault, and then he was a coward for running away.
No.
So he can respect now that he was still maybe, acting cowardly, but there was nothing else he could have really done.
Yeah.
And it was more like a foolhardy confidence that got him into that situation.
And that's more or less what Frailor conveys onto Art.
Yeah.
Just that there's no way that he could have known that he wasn't able to do what he thought he was able to do, and the things that went wrong were not his fault.
He was basically just lied to his entire life to the point where he had to, like, believe
Well, it's not necessarily lied to, just that he was
thought
led...
it was the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, he just thought that was the case, and that if he really needed to do magic, he could.
Yeah.
It just, nobody knew that he literally genetically couldn't do magic.
But yeah.
So Freylor just pretty much affirms all of what you just said, just that Art really had no choice in the matter, and him running away was the smartest thing he could have done in that situation. It wasn't just him being a coward, it was literally the best thing he could do.
It was that or death.
It was that or dying for nothing.
Yeah.
So.
For no reason. And now it kind of feels a little bit full circle, like he's been able to come back and...
Yeah, he was able to
solve the problem
come back to where all of that happened. And feel like...
And almost die, but for a reason this time.
Exactly. He was actually able to do a little bit of magic and help solve the problem currently, like 15 years later.
Yeah, but yeah, and then after that would just peacefully meditate for the night. Probably had another good cry with Freylor, but he's good. He's feeling better.
Yeah, he's feeling great.
Still doesn't like it here. Wants to leave. But
fair enough.
Feeling better.
What
How's
does Brix
doing?
do?
Does Brix have her own room? Is she staying with someone?
Up to you.
Okay, well, she very
You are
clearly...
the smallest party member. You can stay wherever you want
Yeah.
to.
I guess officially she's going to stay in Art's room just because she's pissed off at Oswalt and she's afraid to stay with Knack at night.
That's reasonable.
Oh, no.
No, it's not like, oh, he's going to eat me. It's more just like there's a lot of critters that you have with you.
And every time that Knack stays in a room and the door opens, it's just all swampy and crazy, and
Yeah.
there's animals and plants growing everywhere.
Exactly.
She's a city cat.
Yeah, so she's staying with Art, but when the party sort of dispels, she's just gonna head up to the roof of the inn and just hang out on there for a little while. And she takes out like a stack of these like little scrolls and things, these papers. She kind of spreads them out in front of her, and they're all drawn by her. And a lot of them are very new, and a lot of them she doesn't really understand what they are. So she kind of spreads them out and she kind of disregards those ones. And then she's got one that's way older than the more current ones that she's been drawing. And it's like a partially completed map that has a lot of locations where the party has been, but then where she has been, with just X's over a lot of stuff. And so she's sort of poring over these maps, but specifically this older one, and just kind of hastily draws in some of the places that we've been recently and just puts X's on fucking everything, and then just gathers it all up and puts it in her pack, and then just kind of hangs out on the roof for a little while, just quietly staring at the moon, and then eventually climbs down and heads into Art's room and like sleeps under the bed. She comes into the room and Art is in the middle of meditating, and like, I don't know if he talks quietly or if it's all internal.
I feel like he's a very like silent.
Yeah, I want to say it's all
right. There was that
internal.
one guy who sang
Yeah,
a bunch, right?
yeah. the one person sang all the time, and he's like, I will never be that fucking annoying.
So like she comes in and Art is meditating quietly, and she just creeps in and like goes under the bed and just stays there for the
Aw.
night. Yeah.
What does Knack do?
Oh.
Knack
Dies
looks at
instantly.
Socks and
Kills him.
knows he has to feed him. And so he gets up wordlessly and leads Socks outside. And he goes straight to the street corner right outside the inn. And without looking around at anybody who might be in the streets, just casts Entangle on the ground. And for a 60-foot radius all around, there's just twisting grass that grabs at everything.
Hey! Trying to get to work!
It's night.
He works all night shift.
And Socks starts eating. Has anyone been caught in the entangle?
I mean, that guy.
Is walking on the street.
Yeah, there was one guy.
Hey!
Hey!
What the fuck?
I'm going to be late.
I'm walking here! And then
I'm walking in!
and someone in the inn, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to sleep!
My kids are trying to sleep.
There's someone across the road. Ah!
The lights are turning on.
Oh shit!
And Knack is not even making eye contact with anyone. He's
pretending
looking
to be a bush.
He's
Yeah.
looking down at Socks. He's just happy.
Oh, cute.
Good.
Hey everybody, welcome to the end of another episode of the Killustrators. It's me, Adam, the editor and Oswalt of the show, and I chewed through my cage. Uh-oh! This marks the end of another arc and another big fight that almost gets one or more of us killed, but at least we finally got some closure for Art and his, as per RPG tradition, traumatic backstory. As usual, music's provided by Kevin McLeod of Incompetech.com. This episode will be going up on YouTube on Friday, and we'll have a fresh new one for you in 2 weeks' time. Follow us on Twitter if you want to see what we're up to, at Killustrators, and you can find our personal Twitters on there as well. Also, if you're looking for a fun place to hang out full of delightful human beings doing delightful human being things, join our Discord. The link's in the description. Thank you for reviewing our stuff on iTunes and sharing with your friends. We always appreciate that. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the start of a new arc. We're going to go to new places, we're going to meet new people, and almost get killed by new things, with just a pinch of internal conflict for flavor. The cat is mad at me. Okay, bye-bye.